The model next door. What's good? How you doing? How you doing? Welcome to the live. Yo guys, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. So, this is a Create Your Cast episode, yeah? Happy Africa Day, brother. Happy Africa Day to you too, man. I need to go get me some jollof rice for dinner, man. I'm too blessed. How you doing? I'm doing great, man. I am doing great. I was a little bit hacked earlier on in the week. I don't know if you guys saw the situation that was going on with this flag thing. It touched me deep down. So I thought we were going to do a live stream on it. So welcome to the Creature Cast. We are live on Instagram today. Normally we do our stream on YouTube, but I thought, you know what, let's change it up today. Let's do an IG live as well. So we're recording this. We're going to be posting it onto YouTube as well. So yeah, smile and wave. Smile and wave to YouTube. You know what? I've actually never had jollof rice. I really would like to try it though. It looks amazing. And I've seen some good reviews on it. So maybe one day I'll get the opportunity. Um, well, I don't know if you have any recommendations of places where I can try it out. Shoot them my way. I'll be happy to try them out. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna adjust this light. So, Africa Day celebrations. How are you celebrating? How are we celebrating? Anything special today? Trust and believe. It's good. My girl makes it for me all the time because she is Nigerian. Bro, I need to find me a Nigerian wife. Best believe. Hey, I'll never go to bed hungry. Yo, let me see what we're working with here. Yo, so Mr. Model next door. I don't know if you. Yo, geez, let's not use that one, eh? That one's a bit crazy, bro. It's a bit brazy. So I don't know if you saw what happened the other day with one of our dear ministers, Natim Tetwa, talking about this flag. There was a bit of an outcry. You should, bro. They're the most loyal beings to touch this soil. Amen to that. Amen to that. Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm gonna be entering relationship things anytime soon. For me, I'm married to my work. You, I first need to provide for myself before I can start providing for someone else. You get me. You get me. Ntokozo, welcome. Welcome to the live. We are officially doing a Creatre cast. Aight, let's go. We got a request to join. There we go. How we doing, sir?
Yo, happy Africa Day. How's it going?
Going great. How's yours going?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
What's the? Can I be honest with you, right? For just to like interrupt your life, I know nothing about this whole flag situation.
Perfect.
All I know is that there was a lot of bad grammar during the speech and all that. I literally saw like little glimpses and pieces of it on social media, and I was like, whoa, what's going on?
Yeah.
But that's all I know so far. What exactly am I missing on? What's going on in South
That's
Africa?
I'm so glad you asked the question because there's probably some other peeps out here who also have no idea what happened. So, if you're on Twitter, you would have seen that there was a trending video that went out, right? And we were speaking. So, Natim Tetwa, Minister of Arts and Recreation and Sports, he was on ENCA talking about his new plan to invest. How much was it? I think it was 20 million rands. 20 million
For
rands
one
into
flag,
building
for a flag.
a 100-meter tall flag. That was the plan.
Is this flag gonna glow in the dark?
Funny enough, funny enough, Mans is like, nah. So the guy was asking him, what is this flag about? Like, what's the purpose of this flag? You're saying, no, the purpose of the flag is to educate people, right? So I don't know
I
what.
saw that. When I heard that part, I was like, wait, how? How?
Come again.
I think the truth is, I think it was just misinterpreted. Like, you know, when someone wants to send a message across and they're looking for the right words, to obviously, project what they're trying to say and meaningful words. But unfortunately, he stumbled across his words and he just couldn't find the right words to explain what he was trying to say, and it just sounded so. The grammar was just off. Everything just didn't make sense. Like,
But was it the grammar though? Because I feel like if someone came there and they came with the best grammar possible and they were like looking you dead in the face, like straight face, saying, "Nah, we're gonna invest 20 million rand in building a 100-meter tall flag to educate South Africans on what exactly? Like, what are we being educated on? The colors of the flag? Like, what's going on?" I wouldn't be able to take them
yeah, I would
seriously.
agree with that. Eh? Also, I just feel like every time South Africa has huge, large sums of money, they
The thing is, right?
just always disappears in the system.
So a lot of people, when they saw this video going out, right? A lot of them were like quite shooketh. A lot of people were laughing. They're like, "Nah, it's a joke." Me personally, I felt super touched, right? And the reason why I felt touched is because we live in a country where we have like mass unemployment, right? Things are tough out here. People are
Yeah,
looking for work. The fact that I don't know, like I see you've been booking a lot of jobs, which is freaking dope. But there's a lot of people out
that's
there
right.
that aren't blessed to look as good as you, my friend, who are struggling to find
Can I can I
work.
tell can I tell my story and just be honest too? Like I was actually it took me so long to even find a job.
Mm,
I finished studying a while ago.
yeah,
I'm just gonna be continuing my studies soon. But when I was done studying, right, I think it took me like 2 years to find a job.
mad.
Um, with that being the start of this year, I started working this year for a bank,
Okay.
and how I balanced out everything during 2 years of obviously not being employed. I was modeling most of the time, so it
Mm,
does get tricky for quite a lot of people sometimes.
mm. Quick question, might be a little bit off topic, but when you were modeling, you said you were modeling full time, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you were able to sustain like being able to pay rent, all of that kind of stuff, modeling full time because like I tried to go that route, but it did not work out. Like there just was not enough pay, there wasn't enough jobs. I don't know, maybe it was different in your experience.
You create jobs for yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Man's got the keys.
Um, Let me make an example, all right?
Right?
You've got a media kit, obviously, on your side,
Mm,
and you've got a creative skill. There's a lot of businesses out there that don't know how to advertise. They don't know anything about social media. They don't know anything about this and that. You educate them. You tell them, hey, listen, this is what I have to offer. And whether they take it or not, there's going to be a pool of people that you'll be approaching with different ideas and concepts. At some
mm,
point, someone's going to fall into the pool. So if you're obviously approaching various people, different clients, and say this week you've presented to like 10 people, right?
mm-hmm.
At least 3 of them are going to fall into it, and you
Mm,
lose nothing with presenting to clients. So in that way, what that does for me is that it somewhat creates more jobs for me. Apart from me relying on my agency and connections and this and that,
mm-hmm.
it somewhat does everything covers itself because, dude, like when it comes to life, bro, like you always have to have a contingency, even in your contingency. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. A backup plan for the backup plan. Eight. I don't know if it's me that's dropped off. I hope not. Let's see. Eh, guys, I hope Letlo Honolo did not get load shedded, bruh. I think the sheds came from him. But you know what? Let's hope he can reconnect. I hope he reconnects. Shout out to everyone who's here. But what he's saying is so important. So he's talking specifically in the context of being a model, right? Going out and finding your own jobs as a model, doing pitches, proposals, blah blah blah, right? That 100% can work. But it's not even just limited to like being a model, right? And that's something that I really want to like share with you guys on this stream. If you're out there and you have a skill, like for someone like the model next door, for example, right? His skill is bringing attention to a brand based on how he can pose, how he can work with the camera, how he works with certain photographers, videographers. There's value in that, right? But it's not limited to that. You can also offer value through being the one who's behind the camera, being the one who's actually putting out the posts on social media, who's writing up the captions for it, who's scheduling the live streams, who's going to be joining live streams, engaging with people in the comment section, blah, blah, blah. There's so much value that we can offer as young people. And this is why I was so pissed off when I saw this flag thing, because in order to be able to offer this value, all you need is access to internet connection, a phone, and a computer. If you have access to those things, you can do so much. And I'm just like, why are we investing 20 million rand into a flag where we can buy like 4,400, 5,000 rand laptops and give those to people? Like people have access to to internet connections via like Mug and Bean, wherever it may be. You can do so much with that. So I see Lehlohonolo is requested to join. Let's see if we can get him back on. That'll be so dope. But guys, there's so many opportunities, right? I'm not even getting onto like these other opportunities that lie on like websites like Upsource or Upwork, for example. Um, Fact of the matter is that as long as you have access to a device, you have access to a computer and internet, you can like there's so many opportunities out there. And I'm just talking from the perspective of someone who's a content creator, who's in the social media space. It goes beyond that, guys. Like it goes so far as to like even coding and having access to internet as well. Like the reason why it's such an important like underrated thing is that once you have access to the internet, you have access to boundless knowledge, right? You have access to boundless knowledge. So you don't need to know how to do these things. You don't need to know. All you need is a thirst within you to figure out. All you need is the drive within you to figure out. And like, I have like this one pet peeve where people come up to me and they're like, yo, I don't know how to do this. Can you like show me how to do this? And I actually got this pet peeve from one of my lecturers because while I was studying BCom information systems. So a lot of the stuff that we were working on was coding and programming, website development, etc., etc. And I see that 22 million could have been used to create other stuff that could have made more money in the long run. That's another thing, guys. I don't think in South Africa, like our leaders understand the value of investing, right? Because I don't personally see what the return on a flag is, you know? What return do you get on a flag? Lehlohonolo, you back, bro.
Yes, back in a better. Yo, sorry, dude. My internet is
Yeah, hey?
not the best.
It really be
Yeah.
like that, bro. When there's load shedding out there, the signal just goes to crap.
Telkom's got good deals, but their service.
Dude,
I'm this close to leaving though.
I'm also on Telkom. I'm also on Telkom. Do you know how many times, like, dude, I've bought so much data that just didn't work, bro. It's just like, what did I pay for exactly?
More nice. More nice. More
Yo,
nice.
yo, less nice, bro.
Sorry about that, bro. But yeah, dude, going back to the conversation we just had just now, the flag, do you feel like it's a waste of money?
I personally feel maybe it's not a waste of money. I mean, you could argue that there is value in having like a monument, right? I do believe that, but I believe that you start building monuments once you're in a place of prosperity. Right now, we are very far from being in a place of prosperity in South Africa. So once we've managed to get ourselves to the point where we're not worrying about 60% youth unemployment and we're generating money, people are able to afford bread, they're able to get eye surgery so they're not having four eyes and rather having two eyes. I'm not gonna lie, that threw me off guard for a second. I was like, what is going on here, bro?
I'm trying to turn it off. Like, how do you remove it? Like,
We're busy having deep chats out here. Man's looking like a spider. Anyways. No, so like once we get to a place of prosperity, then yes, let's build monuments. Let's explore the value in that. But in order to get there, we need to invest our money wisely. And investing it into stuff that's not going to give us a return monetarily wise, not going to create jobs for young people. I don't believe that it's a good investment at that point.
I do agree. I do agree. Obviously, given the circumstances in a lot of areas in South Africa, it's quite rough, and an amount like that could really be substantial to obviously build up communities in terms of, for example, sanitary pads for girls. There's quite a lot of people who are pushing drives out there, and it's actually worrying. The fact that people are actually pushing drives out there for sanitary pads, and the government, it doesn't make sense how the government can actually make condoms free, but then sanitary pads aren't free. I know obviously there's a lot of companies out there that offer them and blah blah blah. There's clashes and all that, but at the end of the day, it would just make life so much more easier. Something as small as, I don't know, 22 million could really really change the narrative for us in communities. I'm from a very small community, a very community, and for me to have made it out of there, and it wasn't easy. So it's amounts like these are just like it's always a touchy subject for me when I just see our government investing in developments that just are so useless in terms of empowering us as people. It's quite distasteful. When I heard about the flag thing, I was like, yet another joke from that country.
One of the reasons why I wanted to have this live tonight is because I feel like as people who live in South Africa, I feel like number one of our biggest strengths and one of our biggest weaknesses is the fact that we are so nice and accommodating as people, right? So in the sense of it being a strength, it's like when people come and visit here and they interact with South Africans, they always have the same comment. They always say that South Africans are so nice, they're so friendly. And there's really like a huge global interest in South Africa, and I believe a large portion of that is because of like that and how it's entrenched in our culture. But the weakness that comes across with being nice and being accepting and accommodating is that we take a lot of shit. And excuse my French, but we do take a lot of crap in this country that we deal with on a daily basis. One of them, load shedding. You mentioned now, telecom. Like the way that these like internet service providers absolutely milk us as people is insane. Potholes, education issues. Like there's so many issues that we really like we've been accepting it for so long. And what happens a lot of the time is like these things like the flag and other things that come up, they really like create outrage, but we always talk about it but never really like take action to do something about it. So I know it's kind of ironic that I'm saying like, yo, I'm doing this live stream because I want us to take action, and right now we're talking about it. But I think in order to be able for us to change the narrative, in order for us to actually see change being implemented, we need to like start having conversations about what are we going to do, what are we going to like do in our lives, what are we going to implement within ourselves or within the people around us that is going to help create a solution to these challenges that we're facing. And it's important that us as young people have these conversations. Like they may not be the most entertaining. I mean, like this conversation has nothing on that Dubai conversation. I don't know if you heard about that Dubai conversation that was going on. Like maybe it's not as interesting as that, but it's necessary, you know?
Yeah, dude, it's quite distasteful, man. Like I just said, now, also in this country, our CSI development is just also so weak. You get a lot of companies always just saying that we're going back communities, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. It's always just, most of the time, it's a lie. Because honestly, if you really think about it, man, if these companies really were giving back to communities, given that there's a lot of private companies and also government-owned, who are always somewhat giving back to the company. For example, people saying, "Oh no, we're running an initiative, and for every kilometer we run, then donate R1 to a community." It's like, okay. I just feel like there's always some sort of an agenda with every single project or anything that South Africa does. It's these things are beyond us. But at the end of the day, it's conversations like these that really change the narrative. For the 7 people who are watching this conversation, could take something from it, and okay, fine. It starts with me. I'm gonna make the difference in having the conversation and saying that we should start and just really focus on these issues and just try to make a difference in the communities. And something such as the 22 million, that's way beyond us. It's way beyond us. I don't think we'll ever have a grasp of having control over our government. it will always be a gamble, man.
Mm.
Um, I I have my own personal opinions, my own reservations about the South African government, and I'll just keep those to myself. But
Mm.
it's a tricky one, man. It's a very very tricky one,
You know,
especially on a day.
something like you mentioned now that like it's about us having these conversations. But something that you mentioned earlier, I mean, you're busy sharing some like extremely valuable information with me earlier, and when you had dropped off, there were actually a few people that were saying like, "Yo, I want to hear more. Like, can you tell me more?" And it was basically like how you were explaining your process in terms of finding work and finding jobs in the modeling space through putting out proposals. So I did expand a little bit on that, but I just want us to like say that it's not just about the conversations, about the action, right? But by you sharing that information, that empowers someone to be able to take what you're talking about and apply it in their life, which can actually help them find work and help them find a job. And I think there's power in that. So I don't know if you want to like, if you're able to like share a little bit more about like your process in terms of like creating proposals. You mentioned a little bit about social media and like campaigning. Yo, guys, Telkom does not want y'all to get this info.
I'm back. I'm back. Sorry, it's so disrespectful towards us.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
um,
It's because they know. Telkom knows that this is gonna knock them out, bro.
they know it's man. I just feel like all these things that happen in this country, man, it's all just planned out. Can I be very honest with you? I believe in a concept that's called each one teach one.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I know today, in terms of modeling, in terms of content creation and all this, someone did teach me this.
Mm.
So you can imagine the power of teaching someone something, and then they take what you taught them and make something of it, or implement it, or just take it to the next level. But unfortunately, remember, we live in a world where not everyone has the resources and tools to implement these things. Someone out there right now is, sitting in an environment where, they're probably watching this on someone else's phone, maybe even a neighbor, but they don't have the resources to implement the things that they would like to do that are obviously going to put food on their table. I never would have looked back and be like, oh, years from now, be like, oh, I take pictures for a living. I create content for a living. I act for a living. And that actually, made a difference in my life. But I always tell people that be curious, always ask the questions, and someone will help you some way, somehow. I can I be honest with you? All I needed was my phone. When I started modeling, I was like, okay, fine. What do I need?
Mm.
And my friend told me that all you need is just a camera.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, fine. I need a good camera. He's like, can I tell you something? And I'm like, what? It's like, the best camera that you'll ever have is the camera you currently have right now.
Mm.
So
Mm.
even if you take that one, right, and you sell it and you get another one, then that is also the best camera. It's just utilizing the resources that you have
Yeah.
in that moment.
Yeah, and making the best of it, right? And there's value in that, right? Because
Yes.
you might not be able to find a job from it, but by you shooting yourself, you might be able to learn a certain angle. You might be able to learn a little bit about lighting, you know? And then once you get the
Yeah.
opportunity to maybe borrow someone else's camera and then you shoot with their camera, and then you now because you've learned about all of these things from shooting yourself, you can shoot something even more amazing. You can start grabbing more attention. I mean, that's literally how I started in this space, bro. Like I didn't own my own camera. I used to go to one of my friends. He got a DSLR camera for his birthday, and I used to go to his house. We used to go there and shoot
Oh,
different
yeah.
things on his camera, right? It wasn't even my camera, but we became so like experimental with it and creative with it to the point where we like learned so many different techniques. We had so many different ideas. I mean, the one thing that I can remember from back then was just like how we used to like the one thing we wanted to do was take photos of like eggs exploding. So we would get like this like pellet gun and shoot these eggs and just like take a whole bunch of photos trying to get that one like shot where the egg would explode. And I just remember like being so mesmerized by the idea of like capturing that split second, that moment in time that when you look at it happen in real
Yeah.
life, it's a moment, it's a split second. But once you take a photo of it, that photo will last forever. And that completely like
I know exactly
blew
what
my
you're talking
mind.
about, bro. I know exactly what you're talking about, man. Someone actually just coined in a comment here, and they made actually threw a compliment towards me. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, bro, you dude, like, how come we haven't worked work together when we follow each other. My goodness, how? But
It's a
yeah,
line, bro. It's a line in the stars.
yeah, I'm one person who likes teaming up with content creators for like 24/7. Well,
Mm-hmm.
that's if I get the chance. Most times I don't, because usually like these days it's always like client-related work. Like the past few days I've been doing back and forth with DSTV and multi-choice.
Yeah.
It's uh, it's been a bit tricky. Um, but bro, like but it's like in the same breath, there's also a lot of people who are in this conversation, who do listen to these kind of conversations, who are in the same line of, who aren't in the same line of work as us. How do we take this conversation and convert it to someone who is a makeup artist, to someone who fixes cars, to someone who does other things but don't have the resources, don't have the tools? How do we cultivate them to actually, get what they need, acquire what they need without, having to, because if I tell someone, oh no, go create content, how do I do that the mechanic? I'm saying obviously there is content required for that, but then that's a different conversation for another person. So it's just a matter of just having a conversation that speaks to everyone, but at the same time, it speaks to us too.
You know,
Does
I
that make
would
sense?
I would go so far as to argue the point that, you know what, content is relevant to everyone. Because if you're going to be someone who's a mechanic, right? Let's say you're starting out in your own garage at home. You have maybe a few tools that you use, and you have your skills that you've developed from that you've learned from someone else who's maybe a mechanic as well, right? You're able to create a client base, be able to reach a whole bunch of people that have car issues online. Whereas in person, it would be a lot more difficult to be able to do that. You might need to invest money into printing flyers. You might need to meet people in person. Best option for you, I would say, as a mechanic, is word of mouth, like enticing people to be able to share your skills and your
Yeah.
abilities and what you do. Um, but if you're a mechanic, if you are a chef, if you are a makeup artist, if you are whatever you do, you have such a big opportunity by accessing
Anything
the
basically.
online space. Huh?
Hmm? Oh no, no, sorry, I spoke over you there. Sorry about that.
No stress. I thought you were gonna add on to that, but
Okay, go
that's
ahead.
what I was saying. Like, when it comes to content, content applies in every single space, and there's so many opportunities to be able to broaden your horizons in terms of your client base, in terms of the jobs that you want to be working on, in terms of things that you want to learn, that you want to teach other people as well. You can become a mechanic, right? And you can teach people how to fix cars and make money, generate another stream of income by teaching people how to make cars over IG Lives or over Zoom or whatever it may be. One of my biggest clients is called Value Ed, right? And the way that Value Ed started is that the founder, he was working a corporate job, and he really had a passion about education and inspiring the youth to make better choices for tomorrow. So what he would do is he would go out on weekends and go and teach teachers. So a lot of the universities that are teaching teachers, they teach you the course material, but if you're someone who's like studied at university and has gone into a job afterwards, you would know that like they teach you in university can be very like different to what you actually experience. Like, you need some practical
Oh, that
knowledge
makes
in
that
terms of
makes
what you're doing, because it's very
that makes
different
sense.
to the theoretical stuff that you're taught, right? So what he would do is he would go out on the weekends and take these teachers and put them into practical real life examples and teach them and give them that experience. And that's where his passion started. And he used to do that in person. Then he decided, right before COVID happened, he decided, no, I'm going to leave my corporates. I'm going to found this company, and I'm going to go at it full time, right? Because there's a need for education within the youth nowadays. So he's like, let me try my best to fulfill this need. So he founded Value Ed. COVID hits. Then he realized, look, I can't go to these schools anymore, right? And a lot of people, when they think about COVID, they think of it as like a curse, something that's held us back. But there's a lot of like silver linings that have come from COVID, because in this example, he used to go himself as one person to go and teach at these different schools, right? Now, the problem with that is that, number one, you're geographically limited to where you are, right? You can only go so far as you
Yeah.
can travel. Number two, there's only one of you, right? There's only so many people that can fit in that
Oh my God.
class, you know? So these that we didn't realize that we didn't even view them as limitations. We kind of viewed them as just how things were. But through COVID, he was forced to take what he was doing and do it online. And it completely transformed his business, where the entire business is now run digitally. So all of the courses that he does, what he's done is he's got like 16 different hosts to come on board to the platform who are all presenting live courses. He presents live courses himself, and now he's not limited to how many people can be a part of those lessons, right? There can be hundreds of thousands of people watching those courses at once instead of reaching 20 people that can fit into the room. So there's so many like opportunities. One of the biggest problems that the internet and being in the digital place solves is scale, because you can scale things so much broader when you are offering it online compared to when you're doing it in reality. And a lot of people don't realize that. And that's also why you are able to reach so many people through your platforms, is because you're able to scale what you're doing. You're able to reach so many more people through your content. And brands see value in that, which is why you're working with brands like MultiChoice and DSTV and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, yeah. You actually just, you know what's crazy is that I was actually supposed to go and grab a cold one with a mate of mine, and when I jumped on this live, I was just quite curious as to what you're going to speak about. But I'm actually glad I did, because given the conversation we just had, you actually just gave me the craziest idea, and thank you. Man, I'm very thankful, because what you actually, when you were speaking about the teacher, I was like, wait. When you were speaking, I was like, oh my goodness, I just got an idea in my head. Obviously, it's quite similar, but like it's like okay, aha moment. So thanks for that.
But that's the thing, right? There's so much power in the conceptualizations of these ideas, right? These concepts can be applied in so many different spaces. And that's why I was saying earlier, like, it doesn't matter if you're a mechanic or a chef or whoever you are, you can take the concept and translate it into a different industry or different space. And that's why it's so important for us to share this information online. And the irony of this is like, how much is it costing me to share this information with you? Very little. All I need is an internet connection, some electricity to charge my phone, and Bob's your uncle. Here I am on the live stream teaching all of this information, sharing it for free. Imagine what we could do with 22 million rand.
Your name is Bob, right?
Bob,
Bob's your uncle.
do I really look like an uncle? Come on. Come on. I do not look like an uncle.
I never said you're an uncle, but you said Bob, so I was like, wait. It's not. It is not.
Josh is your uncle. Let me put it like that.
Josh, yes. We were never properly formally introduced. Hence, I was like, I think his name is Bob. Sorry.
Yo, that's another thing, bro. Like, that's why I'm so passionate about the power of the internet, man. Because you can come on, you can hop on a conversation, have a live stream with someone that you've never met in your life. You can learn a crap ton from them and have a whole bunch of people watching as well. Also learning simultaneously. Dude, it's so powerful, man. It's so powerful. And this is like one of the strongest tools we have as a generation, but we can't access it right now.
Can I tell you the craziest thing that happened to me? So I was in Cape Town not so long ago, right, for a project. I was working I was on a project on board with APSA as an account executive, right?
Okay.
So obviously during my after hours, probably hang out and just chill with a couple of friends. So I was in Stellenbosch, and I was like, okay, fine. I don't know a lot of people around here, but tonight I want to like go crazy.
In Stellies.
So cool. In the afternoon, Stellenbosch, bro. But I didn't party there. I partied elsewhere. There's a plot twist. You'll see now. So in the afternoon, I'm like, okay, fine. I want to go to Creatre. My friend is like, Creatre? I'm like, yeah, dude. Why not? He's like, you're going to go one, man. I'm like, yes. So fine, I go on the internet, right? You know what I typed? Hashtag influencers Creatre. Like, I keep playing around with the hashtag.
Okay.
You keep, like, playing around with hashtags or certain things. Just pick up, like, certain information in the system. Bro, when I got that hashtag right, I actually found a couple of influencers who live around Creatre, content creators, because remember, every community has content creators. So fine, I DM'd 3 of them, a girl, a guy, and a girl. So fine, one of the guys respond. He's like, hey, what's up, dude? I see you're around the area and you're a content creator. I'm like, yeah, me too. And he's like, how did you find me? I'm like, via a hashtag. We found each other via hashtag.
Yeah.
For the rest, from there on, it was history, dude.
Yeah.
So he was like, listen, you can come to Creatre. there's actually a party a mate of mine is hosting. I can get us a VIP table. How was this all initiated via a hashtag?
Yep.
How crazy is that?
Yeah. No.
The
It.
power of the internet is really the internet is
Bro.
very powerful. It's just we kind of somewhat undermine it because it's just a thing of it's just put up some content out there, or it's just a hashtag, or it's just a repost, or it's
Do
just a
you,
like, or
I think another reason why we undermine it is because it's all limited to numbers, right? So if I take,
yes.
like, let's say we're doing a live right now, and let's say we have 50 people in the live, right? For us, our interpretation of that is the 50 in the right hand corner at the top of the screen. But if you were to take those 50 people and put them in a room, and now you and I are sitting there having a conversation, that's a very different experience. Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
different experience, but we don't realize it because it's confined to this, like, confines of a number. So we don't realize the influence that we actually have. I mean, bro, you're sitting on like 15,000 followers. Bro, there's certain towns out there that have 15,000 people, like a whole town, bro, of people.
Yeah,
Have
sometimes
you
it
ever
feels
thought
like
about
that.
that?
Not really. Not really. But yeah, shout out to the 10 people watching this live. Um, every time I don't go live that often, but whenever I do, like, I just get so excited because I'm like, this is basically 10 people. Well, given that there are 10 people on this one, it's basically 10 people who are consuming the information that you're sharing out there.
Mm.
And dude, it's a very, very powerful tool, man. We can just take this beyond, bro, like beyond the stars. I'm
Yeah.
excited, man. I'm excited for the future, and and bro, like, I'm gonna be very honest with you, man. Like, the truth is, I'm just a regular guy, bro. Just like anyone else is trying to figure out life, just doing their passion, just obviously putting their best foot forward and hoping for the best. And every time I get people DMing me, and sending me pictures of, maybe an ad or a billboard or something that I did, it's just so humbling because I'm like, wow, people actually recognize the work that I do. It's amazing. It's just so beautiful because it's like, um, it's like some sort of self gratification.
Mm.
It's amazing, bro. Even something as small as someone saying, "Hey, FYI, I saw the video that you put out there. It really helped me a lot."
Mm.
For me, bro, even if I get 50 people saying that in like a space of a week, I still get excited. Although obviously, some novelty does wear off on certain things, but it's still like, whoa. And I actually change an entire individual's day or their perspective, or I've some way somehow assisted them in whatever they were busy with.
Mm.
That that warms up my heart. That makes me happy.
Two words come to mind: inspiration and impact, right? First of all, the fact that you, a normal person, just like everyone else on this live stream, is able to utilize the power of content,
Yeah.
the power of just having the will to just figure things out and try and put yourself out of your comfort zone, and to show the implications of that, the things that you can achieve. That's super inspiring. Number two, what you're talking about is impact, right? The mere act of you doing what you're doing, even though to you it's just you doing what you do, that has impact on the lives of other people that are watching, on the lives of other people who are aspiring to do certain things, on the lives of people that are seeing what you do, taking notes, listening to the things that you're saying on live streams, etc., etc. That's impact. That's real life impact. And we all have the potential to do that. But in order to be able to do that, you need to do what you do with purpose. You need to know why you are doing what you're doing. And having said that, why do you do what you do?
I was about to slam you with that question, bro. Damn.
Beat you
I
to
thought you
it.
was gonna. Okay, cool. Why do I do what I do? I've got like a million answers to that. But I'm just gonna give you one. Passion. It's passion. It's not even about the money. It's not about anything else. It's just passion, bro. I've got a diamond love for what I do, and every day I wake up, I just become more and more hungry for it, more and more hungry, and it's just, I feel like at this point, bro, I'm too far gone. Like, there's no taking me back. There's no drawing me back. I'm extremely in love with the art of modeling and acting, just everything that comes into it, everything that has to do with content creation and just concept, just the industry that we're in. I am like, I'm a sucker for it, bro. I love it so much, and yeah, dude, I just can't help it, bro. not even corporate can move me, bro. At this point, like people always say, "Oh no, I want the future." Ah, it's fine, man. You know what? I'm doing what I love, bro. If I die tomorrow, ah, dude, best believe
Corporate's too
I'm gonna
cozy.
die, bro.
Corporate's too cozy, man.
Why would I want to help someone to make money when I can make it myself?
Yo, I'm touched with the Indina. She shouted out Lehlo, but she didn't shout out Josh, even though I know her too. I see you, Landina. You're moving mad.
We've
I
been on. I realized that like this thing. I don't know if it jammed, but like we've been on 10 views. Like it stayed there. And shout out to the people who are still here. Like y'all are.
Nah, yeah. Shout out to you guys for being here and for also sharing like what you think in the comments. Actually, like, what do you guys think about this whole flag situation? What are your opinions? Like, I think we all came to the same conclusion that it's a joke, or maybe I don't know. Maybe you're different. Maybe you differ. Maybe you're like,
Yes.
you know what?
Yes.
I actually want a flag, and I want it to be lit up at night so that the education continues from day to night. If that's you, don't be afraid to share it in the
I
comments.
was way.
I also got some.
Yeah, and also
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
whoever is watching this live, you are more than welcome to jump on and join. I
Mm.
mean, Josh was having a live. We didn't plan this. I was not invited. I just, decided, let me just bring my, you know, let me just bring myself here.
Your energy, the good
'Cause,
vibes.
hey, bro, these filters, what's going on? Yes.
Yo, so we're also live streaming right now on Twitch simultaneously. I got someone who's joined us, Fodor362. Good morning or evening in your time zone. By the way, okay, blah blah blah. Value, it seems like an awesome organization. The world's at your fingertips. Increasingly, I work in IT, but I'm considering a second career working on small engines. Thanks to the information that I've been able to learn online. Guys, there's so much access to information online. You can learn anything. You want to learn how to make jollof rice? You can learn jollof rice. You want to learn how to fix a car? You can fix a car. You want to learn how to get a nice fade and cut your own hair? There's a tutorial out there for that. You can learn anything, bro. That's why when people are like, oh no, like I'm sitting at home, like I'm trying to find, God, go learn something, bro. Go learn something. Shit.
Yeah. There's even like apps where you can just easily make money, but the only problem is with that is that there's a lot of scamming activity happening. So obviously, because a lot of people are unemployed, a lot of people are looking for jobs, they're easily taken advantage of. Every now and then, you all get an SMS that says, "Hi, you have unclaimed money from a relative." Oh my goodness, why would a relative leave me money in South Africa?
$10,000, $10 million.
Bro!
Yeah, no, when it comes to scams, you really got to be careful with that. There's been a lot of scams going around on Instagram as well, hey? Like, I don't know if you've seen, like, these, like, Forex scams, or I don't even know. Like, someone will get hacked, and then on their profile, there's this
Forward out here.
screenshot of, like, blah, blah,
You know
blah.
what? In going forward regarding scams, everyone who's watching this live, if your authentication is not on, and you don't want to get hacked, go to your settings, turn on two-factor authentication. So what this will do is that it won't allow people to actually, when someone tries to access your account, right? You will need to get a USD code to your phone number. Every time you log into Instagram on another device, you will need to receive a specific code on your phone number, and then you have to enter it. Then you can log in. Two-factor authentication makes life so much more easier. I've been hacked before, and ever since then, bro, I never turned back, bro. Like
Yeah.
it's gonna change your life. You won't find yourself getting hacked and random people asking for money on your account.
Yeah, nah.
So yeah, bro. I'm seeing a lot of people on my side getting hacked, bro. I don't know about your side, dude.
Yeah, dude, like there's this one scam that seems to be getting a lot of people, bro. It's so disappointing, man. I actually got a message from one of them. There was this one that happened where I got a message from a random account that followed me, and they were saying like, "I bet you can't guess this four-letter word or whatever." And I was like, and he was like, "Oh yeah, and if you guess it right, I'll send you $100." So I was like, "Okay, well, let's see. Like, here's the word." Right? And the guy was like, "Oh, you got it right, blah blah blah. Send me your PayPal link." And then I was like, this is getting a little bit sus, bro. So I played along with the guy. Like I was taking him for a bit of a ride, you know. Landed up just sending him a picture at the end of me just smiling, being like, "Not
Can I
today,
tell
my
you about
boy."
something? I'm gonna be very.
Come again?
Can I tell you something crazy? So the last week I get a message from this girl. She's like, hey, listen, I'm currently running a promo with some forex trader, and we want to pay you 500 to post on our stories, on your stories. And she sent me the video, and she's like, just send me your banking details, and then I'll pay you, and then you just post it on your stories. I'm like, this is a bit scammy. So I'm like, okay, fine. Let me check her profile. I check her profile. Everything's perfect. I'm not seeing any screenshots of like, guys, whoever's on this live, if you see a screenshot on someone's Instagram feed with a notification of how much they have in their bank account,
Run.
don't believe it.
Run.
No one is gonna share their financial. No one is gonna show you how much they have in their bank account. So
Yeah.
on this girl's profile, right? Everything checks out. She looks like a normal person who's living a normal life. So I'm like, okay, cool. I can trust this person. She seems like a credible source. So I'm like, okay, fine. Could you please send me a voice note of you just, speaking, and also just like a selfie with the word selfie? She's like, no problem. I'm okay with that. I'm like, oh, wait, really? She sends it. And I'm like, all right, fine. I'm comfortable now to actually share that. Because if it really wasn't her, she wasn't going to do it. And also, why would you scam me on your real account, on an actual account that actually shows you off? So I ended up posting, and she ended up paying me.
Yeah.
It seemed like a scam at first, but you have to check these things. Make sure. If a person really is who they say they are, then they wouldn't be scared to send you a selfie of them holding. Like if you're like, hey, if I DM you, right, and I'm like, hey, bro, could you please send me 4,000? And we are really our friends, right? And you feel like, oh no, what if it's really not cooking? If you ask me to send you a picture, holding a book, my favorite book. If you ask me to send you a picture holding my favorite book, right? Why would I struggle to send that unless if I'm somewhere in public?
Yeah.
It's a matter of credibility. You know what I'm saying? That is actually my favorite book, by the way. I really like it.
What is that book?
It's called Between Heights.
Between Heights.
Yeah. It's more of like a fine literature book. It's by a writer called Emily Bronte.
Okay. I actually need to read a book called The Power of Now. I had 2 people recommend it to me. I don't know if you've read it.
I've heard about it, just never read it. The Power of Now.
The Power of Now, yeah. It's a book that I need to actually get into. Yeah, it's Eckhart Tolle.
I have to head out, but I really, really enjoyed this live, and
Likewise,
would
man.
love to have lives with you in the future. Please, let's exchange numbers in the DMs.
Of course.
Take it from there.
Of course, sir. No, thank you. I wasn't expecting you to hop on, but the fact that you did makes my heart happy. The fact that we were able to meet each other finally, even though it was virtually. At some points, it'll be in person.
The feeling's mutual. Trust me, the feeling's mutual, man.
Shout out.
Catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you, sir. Have a great evening.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.
Cheers, Josh. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and when the flag goes up, we'll be the first to take a selfie with it.
We'll be the first ones to take it down, bro. Hey. I'm sorry, bro. I'm taking that thing down, bro. Peace out. Yo, guys, shout out to everyone who's made it through on the live. We really appreciate you being here. So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of a background for all you guys who might not follow the Creatre community page. But essentially, we're building a community of creators, right? And the goal of building that community is to connect creators to business, because there's a lot of opportunity out there when it comes to creating content, whether it be for yourself or whether it be for clients. There's a lot of work that needs to be fulfilled due to this evolution that we're going through, this digital evolution, and how businesses need to transfer themselves online. So we've recognized that need, and we're here to provide opportunity to those who want to meet that need, whether it be through education, whether it be through job opportunities, whether it be through networking. I mean, the power of networking is so important. Like, this live was an exact example of that, right? I know that Letlo is working on super dope things, right? Now we know who each other are. We know that we're credible. We know that we can contact each other. I'm going to get his number. Who knows what opportunities that can open? Networking is so important. So please, if you guys want to be a part of this community, give us a follow. We'll follow you back, and we'll let you know of future live streams that are happening, whether they be on Instagram, whether it be on YouTube or Twitch. There's going to be so many more. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming through. I've got one more comment over here from Fodor on Twitch saying a 100-meter steel pole for a flag. We recently had a windstorm and that literally bent steel poles in half. Something half the size could cause significant damage or casualties in the right weather, even regardless of the engineering that might go into it. It seems like a waste. Use that money to build wells for communities. So yeah, I completely agree with that, and I think in the context of South Africa, it's even goes further than that. In the context of South Africa, we have a 60% youth unemployment rate, people trying to find work, trying to find opportunities, and that money can go so far in terms of helping those people empower themselves with knowledge, but also the resources to be able to make a difference in the world around them. So that's where I think the 22 million should go, and if you have another idea of where the 22 million should go, you can comment down below. This video is going to be uploaded onto YouTube, so check out our YouTube channel if you want to see the whole live stream. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for coming through. It was an absolute pleasure, but I'm going to hop off now and go get some din-dins. So yeah, lastly, before we wrap up, I just want to say that we have become affiliated with camera stuff. So if you're looking at buying some photographic equipment, whether it be a tripod, whether it be a camera, whether it be lighting or gear, click down below in the comment section for our affiliate link. You'll be able to purchase and get some really good deals on camera stuff. So that's going to be available to you. And yeah, to everyone who watched and came through tonight, it was an absolute pleasure. And we'll see you soon. Peace. Yo, Fodor, thank you so much for coming through. It was dope having you here, man. I'm sorry that I'm not doing any Omegli tonight, but we had to do a little bit of a Creatre live stream. Um, yeah, no, that was actually a really good conversation. I'm really glad that Letlohonolo joined, and I'm glad that you did too, Fodor. But yeah, it's crazy, dude. Like things that happen here in South Africa, it's a bit of a madness. I'm not even gonna lie. Like some of the stuff you wouldn't even like believe how crazy it is. I don't know. I'm actually not 100% sure where you stay, but I don't know if you are familiar with the idea of a pothole. If you know what a pothole is, but we've been having like when you drive on South African roads, the potholes are crazy, man. Crazy, crazy. All right, this is what I want to do. I want to quickly create a thumbnail. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. Ba-ba-da-da-da. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. More than a woman. La 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 la. More than a woman. More than a woman to me. All right, Photo, I'm going to end the stream. Thank you so much for coming through, man. Really appreciate it. We will catch up soon. Have a fantastic evening.